Thank you for joining Waterbreak. This episode is brought to you by Dusty Rose Tallow. To find out more about them, go to dustyrosetallow.com. Enjoy Waterbreak. Hey y'all, welcome to Waterbreak. Thank you for joining us. My wife Annie.
Hi guys.
Gabriel here. We're not your average faith and fitness show because today we're talking about mistakes women make in strength. You think we're always talking about the women?
I do think we are. But
Because it's always the women's
there's
fault.
so many problems. I was thinking about that on my way here. It's like, man, and then I thought, well, maybe this could apply to the guys too. And some of it can, but some of it can't because you guys just don't do some of the stuff. So you just don't. You have other problems.
You have other problems like taking too much creatine.
Yeah, well, no.
Because I remember in
college,
college. Did I tell you my college?
Yeah, I mean, you could take too much creatine.
So in college, creatine was really becoming a big thing. Actually, it's kind of towards the edge of high school for me and then college.
Yeah.
96, 97, 98, 99. And I went, my freshman year, went down to California to play basketball and then came home for the summer to train. Mm-hmm. And when I came home for the summer to train, you've heard me tell this story before.
I have.
I started using creatine, and creatine in the beginning, they want you to load.
Well, it's just one way to do it, where you do this mega load at the start, which is supposed to get you saturated faster. But
I did this major load, and I was walking about probably something like, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 miles a day, plus training basketball on top of that because of my job. For my summer job, I was just walking.
It was a lot of walking.
It was a lot of walking.
Speed the story
and
up.
It was 10-hour shifts. My wife's already bored. She's already bored.
It's just that punchline is not that exciting.
It's not that good. Yeah, no, it's not.
And you're talking about how many steps you took.
Yeah, steps. And so I was training. I was basically gone all day, walking and everything, and then playing basketball and working out at night. And I remember one night I came home and fell asleep, and then I woke up with this massive cramp, like one of the worst cramps I've ever had because of my schedule and the creatine load and so forth. And I had to wake up my brother at 3 a.m. to wake me up and everything. But that was my traumatic experience.
It can happen when you do that mega load. You know, most normal doses of creatine is like 5 to 10 grams. Usually they have you loading 20, 25, 30. So it's just a lot.
30 sounds right to me.
30, yeah, it could have been 30, and then like you taper off. It's not gonna like hurt you, but it's not necessary. Mm-hmm. It's just not necessary. It just speeds up the process of getting to saturation. But you can have some cramping or GI distress or whatever. But all that to say, everybody should be taking creatine. Creatine's good for us, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, this is a specifically.
So this is a mistake that a man made.
This is a mistake that a man made.
But we're going to talk about mistakes women
make more mistakes
during strength training.
Yeah, women make more mistakes, not in general, but but in the context of strength training. Not in general. I don't think.
It's more man's mistakes.
I think. It's hard. It's a hard one, but women make more mistakes.
Okay.
I think. So that's why we decided to talk about this, and I am very excited.
All right. So and part of this, I guess part of why did you want to cover this topic? Not just to help women, not just about dealing and addressing mistakes issues, but like.
Well, I guess because I see these things happen all the time.
Okay.
And they really annoy me. That's part of it.
Yeah.
I like to talk about things that
annoys me.
That's a big part of it.
This is true.
And strength training is so important that it's just so important. And that also annoys me too. And I'll talk about it as we go through the list, but it's just, it's really, really important. Yeah. And you need to be doing it. And you also got to be doing it right, or it's kind of a waste of time. And that actually really frustrates me too, where it's just like, you're doing this so inefficiently or so ineffectively, that's sad. And I don't feel like we all have time to waste. So let's just make sure we're doing it right. Yeah, exactly. So I guess that's why.
Okay. That's good, baby. All right. So number one, what's the number one? Is this in order that you did, or is it just kind of like?
I think it's in order because number one has to come first.
So you're saying this is number one of number one of the list?
Yes, this is number one of the list. This is number one.
Group fitness.
No, you're not.
No.
Read number one.
No, you got 2 number ones.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Okay, read the first.
They don't do it?
They don't.
They just don't do training.
Yeah, that's the number one way you mess it up, ladies. Because
they just don't do it.
You guys make me so mad. So many of you won't do it. You won't do it. Most of you at this day and age, what is it, 2025, almost 2026. Yeah. Most women now will at least admit, like, yeah, I know it's a good thing and I should probably be doing it. Like most women will say that, just like you'll say that about eating better or sleep. Like it's not like it's unknown, that it's a good thing to do. But it is like, so many of you just aren't doing it. You are not doing it. And it's so sad because it's not like, what's another thing in life that I could recommend to somebody that like might help but might not, and if it does help, it might help a little but not, like, it's not like something like that. Okay, guys, this is one of those things that it will help you. It will help you so much.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty much 100% guarantee that when you get older at some point, I want to say almost 100%. Like, I mean, there might be a few absolute exceptions out there.
Mm-hmm.
But unless that's you, and it's probably not, it's an almost 100% guarantee that at some point in your life when you get older, you are going to be so regretful. I can't think of one person that I've ever talked to or worked with who finally got on the wagon.
Yeah.
Usually it's because their doctor makes them.
And
or
they always say, I wish I would have done
I
this
wish
earlier.
I had done this earlier.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know. You know, like, I can't, it's just, you guys. So, okay. So either, and we're going to spend a little bit of time on this one, and then we'll move on to some other stuff that's a little more practical for those of you who are actually strength training, or you think you're strength training. But for those of you who aren't doing it, you guys, okay, usually it just breaks down to either you just are one of those people who's just not taking care of your health. Like, you know you should, but you're just not, okay? You're not really doing anything, right? Including strength training. And I mean, really, that just makes me sad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that makes me sad. That's a lot of moms. That's a lot of dads. And I think everybody's tired. Everybody's busy. But I think for women in particular, it really is deeply rooted. Taking care of your body, exercising, strength training, etc. It's not just about functionality, although functionality is really important. But it's also just about like you taking the time, spending the money on yourself because you put value on that. And there's just so many women who aren't doing that. And that actually makes me really sad. And if you're married, I feel like your husband's kind of dropping the ball too a little bit, you know? I mean, maybe don't be the kind of wife that your husband's scared to bring this up. You know, don't be a crazy person. That could be,
we talked about
that could be a scenario, but a lot of times I think that's not the case. I think women just are not good at prioritizing themselves, their own health, their own appearance, their own, they don't want to spend the money, they don't want to take the time, and they really need encouragement from their spouse. They need the spouse to just be like, oh, this is a great idea. You're totally worth it. I want you to feel good. I want you to look good. I want you to all these things, you know, and it's just not happening. So if that's you, that's really sad. And I hope you and your spouse can reevaluate what you're doing, because it's really sad to see a mom or a woman who's clearly just sort of given up. That really bums me out. So I hope that's not you. But then there's this whole other group, and you guys are the ones who really annoy me. Okay.
So set that aside.
No. I'm still talking about the women who don't do it.
Okay.
But there's women who aren't doing anything for their health and they've just given up.
Right.
We already just talked to you, and I'm sad for you.
I'm sad.
These are the second.
Please make more cheerful.
Yeah, these are the second. And these are the ones who I'm just annoyed at. These are the girls who care a lot about how they look.
And are trying to do something.
Oh, no. I mean, they care a lot. But all you care about is being skinny.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to take this out on you.
I'm
You're not a girl.
No.
You don't care about
I'm
being
just here
skinny.
on the show.
Now, I want to be, before I make everybody mad, you're like, I'm just here. I didn't know. I'm here to read the things. There are some of you who are naturally really lean, and I am not talking to you. I am not giving you a hard time because of your natural body type. And that is some people. Some people are like, I am skinny. I can't help it. That's just
burgers and
fries it's just
day.
The body that God gave me. I am not talking to you. You got to embrace whatever body you got, and you want to just be the healthiest version of that. And for you, that might be super lean, and that is fine. That is great. But so many of you other women, you know what I'm talking about. You know that I'm talking to you. You are obsessed and just so obsessed with just being thin. Like the smaller pant size, a certain number on the scale, just feeling light, looking light, being thin. That's all you care about. And you guys, usually what that means is you're mostly just not eating. Maybe you're doing some cardio. Strength is not on your radar because in your brain, that does not help you in any way to be thin. It's not a big calorie burner. And you're just like, well, why would I do that? All I want to do is be thin. And you know what? Number one, you guys.
Actually, I got to
go ahead.
You know, I don't think we want to break our lives down to being bean counters. You know,
okay.
You know, every, pound matters. Every, pant size, whatever. Now, I think some of that helps in measuring things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's not necessarily how God built the world. That He wants you to, count every bean.
It's not very fun.
And it's not fun.
You ladies know that.
And yeah, I mean, just, and imagine like how it's like you're almost reducing things in such a way that it is taking the beauty out of God's creation, taking the fun out of life, taking the, building up a stress in details that I don't, And
yes.
this is not also to say that, like, sometimes you might have to because your health is so bad or something, right?
Sure, yeah.
But generally speaking, I mean, because I've just been thinking about with my health and my blood pressure and stuff that's been going on. Like I see the tendency to all of a sudden, like want to start bean counting everything versus, just make changes, make adjustments, start working out, start trying to do things better and rightly and all that stuff. But don't reduce. And God didn't also build us this way. He didn't build us just like as a scientific being. He built us with mind, body, spirit. And so just to reduce things to, numbers or math or size, gene size numbers and stuff like that, I think you're kind of missing some of the things. I was actually just thinking to you, I want to talk to you about this because I was thinking about we need to do a show on how to think about health and not a minimalistic, just what you can lift on the bar, just how you're losing weight, what your blood pressure numbers are at, try to think in a way that God wants us to think, which is mind, body, spirit, and not just reduce things to, math and science and weight and health and that way because sometimes, and this is way off, we'll get there, but I just want to make this last point because sometimes God judges people in sickness because they're in sin. It says in New Testament, if you're drinking, you can drink the body, you take the Lord's Supper in such a way where you're building condemnation on you because you're living in sin. And particularly that context was talking about your health.
I cannot believe you're opening this can of worms right now. Did you hear that, guys? If you're sick, you did something wrong.
You could be bringing judgment on yourself. No, 100%. 100%.
We don't. Okay, maybe, but you're just.
Well, that's what the Bible says.
That's crazy. You're okay.
That's what the Bible says, and so you can. So I just don't want us to boil all our health down to just numbers and weights and pant sizes and stuff like that. So
I agree with that.
We'll talk about the other show.
We probably need to talk about it. Yeah. Okay. Well.
So this is number one for the women.
Yeah, and we're still on it.
We're past we're on the second number one.
We're on one part
2
B
dose.
Because we talked about the women who have given up, and now we're talking to the women who only care about being thin, which is most of the women. It is most of you, and that's why they're not strength training because they only care about being thin. And so this means a life of maybe cardio, maybe not, and just dieting. Just dieting and dieting and dieting. And talk about bean counting. It is the most miserable, lame way to live. It's so sad. And okay, 2 things to you ladies. Okay. Number 1, that strategy of not strength training, not investing in building muscle, and just running on the treadmill or walking and not eating one way or another forever is actually a really, really bad long-term weight loss strategy. So if we're just going to address what your actual goal is, which is being so thin, which I don't think is the best goal for a lot of you. But even if that we are talking about trying to reach that goal, this is not a good strategy because number 1, muscle is the key to metabolism and insulin sensitivity. And the less you have, the lower your metabolic rate is going to be. And number 2, over time, the less you eat, the more downregulated your metabolism gets. So you end up, some people quit sooner than others. You end up in a really, really bad place. And I know so many of you are in that place. You're there. You're like, I'm there, where you can't barely eat anything. Or the only way that you can get the skill to even budge is to go like OMAD, like literally eat 1 time a day or get on a GLP-1 or something really extreme, right? Really extreme because your body is so weight loss resistant because you have been not exercising in the right way and you've not been eating for so long. So even for your own goal and your own obsession, which is thinness, it's not a good long-term strategy. Like, what are you going to do in 5 more years and 10 more years when you're like, I can eat 800 calories a day or I gain weight? I mean, it's just a really, really bad place to be. And then secondly, you guys, you're not thinking long-term at all in terms of just both the physical and metabolic damage you are doing by not building muscle. We're talking bone density that's going to go downhill. We're talking insulin insensitivity. We're talking lower metabolic rate, like we just talked about, poor hormone health. Usually
osteoporosis, right?
That's bone density. Yeah. I mean, low thyroid, low progesterone, often, low leptin,
testosterone.
All of them. When you're not eating and you have low muscle mass on your body, frailty, injury, chronic pain, like this, these are all coming for you. Like all of them, they're coming for you again, unless you are just an absolute anomaly, which I'm sure they're out there. There's exceptions to everything, but I don't meet very many of them. And you're just not thinking long-term. Like you're just not. So if you are number 1, if you're just not strength training, for whatever reason, and we addressed two of the big ones, you really need to consider starting. And if you're having a hard time, talk to your spouse, your significant other about this and prioritize it, because it is so important. And I just cannot tell you how many women that I work with are so regretful that they did not start earlier and they did not think long term and they did not invest in their health in this way.
Mm-hmm. All right. So
good.
Now we're on to number two. Number two.
Sorry.
Mistakes you ladies tend to make in strength training. Number two is group fitness classes is your strength.
Oh my gosh.
Basically, this is talking to women who only do group fitness classes.
So we first addressed people who aren't doing the strength training, and now we're addressing, I mean, this is like most of the women in the gym.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a lot of the women in the gym or in, any given gym, is that you are like, oh, I do strength train. I do. I go to this class and this class and this class. And it's.
But our group fitness classes, I mean, they're geared to hell, right?
I mean,
you teach group fitness classes.
I do. We talk about this often. Most group fitness classes, you might be able to find an exception. You might be able to find like a CrossFit gym where they have certain hours that it's, in the week on the schedule where it's a group setting, but it actually is geared towards actual strength build, which means one heavy set of squats, 3-minute rest, another heavy set of squats, 3-minute rest. That's what strength looks like. That's how you get better. And you can put any other movement in there, push up, pull up, bench, whatever. That's how you do it. That's what it must look like. You have to rest. The rests need to be long. You need to be, doing movements that are functional, ideally compound, like your squat, your deadlift, your push, your pull, etc. You might be able to find a class like that, but that's very rare. Most of the time when you think or when you go to a group fitness class that is touting any kind of strength training or dumbbells or anything, it's high intensity. It's very lightweight. And you're not going to build strength in that setting. You're just not. Like you really, really aren't. Like, if any at all. Like it would be so small. So that's a huge problem also. This is a huge problem in the gym going crowd where people are, I don't know what it is. I think women usually group fitness is dominated by other women, so that they like that. They like the camaraderie, and there's nothing wrong with that. They like, they like the accountability. They like that their friends are there. Women are that way. They're very, community oriented people. But just the culture of group fitness, the structure of most group fitness classes are not conducive to putting any amount of muscle on your body, that's for sure, or building any amount of meaningful strength. It's all just cardio. And again, like I've said in the past, cardio is not bad. And like Gabe said, I do teach some group fitness, but you just got to be very, very accurate how you label these sorts of classes, because it's almost all cardio. Like if your heart rate is high and you're just going from one movement to the next, or there's burpees involved or running involved or any, it's just, that's not strength training, that's cardio. And whilst that's fine to do, especially if you're one of those people who really like it, who really enjoy it, I think it's fine. But if you start counting that along with all the other more traditional cardio, you're running, you're spinning, whatever else you're doing, all is cardio, you are going to find that you have a very imbalanced, lopsided weekly fitness schedule where it's like 6 days of cardio and no actual strength. So probably some of that needs to go. I'm not telling you can't do HIIT class. I'm just telling you, put it on the right shelf. It's cardio. It's stressful. You're training your heart and lungs. That's it. And this is why, and I always say this, I say it all the time, women who go to group fitness classes never get stronger. Like their push-up, they can't do a push-up. 5 years later, still can't do a push-up. Can't do a pull-up. 5 years later, still can't do a pull-up. And these ladies come talk to me all the time. They're like, what can I do to get better at pull-ups? I just have struggled. They'll show up in a high-intensity setting and they'll be like, I've just been struggling with them for years. I haven't gotten any stronger. And I'm like, well, when do you do them on your own? And they're like, never. And that's when I'm like, well, this is not the setting in which, it's not like doing them in that setting is wrong. It's fun. It's fun to do high intensity, high volume pull-ups.
And it's helping with your heart. And
totally. But that is not how you're going to get better at your pull-up. Like no way. Like you're breathing so hard. You're so tired. You're circuiting it with all these other things. Like it's like the worst context in which to try to get better at anything or like to try to get stronger at anything. So,
well, the categorical point I think is important, because when I still do this, we're talking about mistakes women make in strength training, and you immediately say strength training is synonymous with working out.
Yeah.
And working out,
right? HIIT class.
It could be HIIT class, or it could be just bench or whatever.
Yeah.
But And so you're being able to categorically put HIIT class or kind of those classes in the cardiovascular kind of, heart world versus, bench, pull-ups, 3-minute break,
yes, traditional
squats,
strength training
and
out
the
on
strength
the, out
world.
on the floor.
Yeah, strength world.
Yeah, and women don't differentiate this at all.
Well,
So,
I was saying, I don't mentally do that.
And again, I'm not saying any of these classes or formats or high intensity or anything are bad or wrong. I actually really enjoy it. You just need to make sure that you're clear with yourself and with others, especially with yourself. That's cardio. That's what that is. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with liking it, and it's fine for strength training like movements to show up in that context. But do not kid yourself for a second that you are building muscle or getting any stronger in that kind of layout. So, it's hard because this means women have to do something that they're not comfortable with. They're not comfortable with because it means like getting a personal trainer, figuring out a program, joining some online program, something. There's a lot of ways to do it. They have to go, at their house or out on the floor by themselves and actually strength train. And I think that's intimidating.
Yeah.
It's time consuming. And again, back to the first point, it's not going to burn 500, 600 calories like a 5-mile run will. And so you have to get over that mindset of like all exercise is burning calories and getting thinner.
Yeah.
It's just not true.
Yeah.
It's not true. And we need it. So just make sure that you are, if you like group fitness, like I'll give you guys, and I'll just, before we move on to the next point, I'll use me. I do heavy strength Monday, Thursday, Saturday.
Okay.
Out on the floor by myself, heavy 2 to 3 minute breaks between sets depending on what I'm doing. That's my power clean, my power snatch, my bench, my squat, my deadlift, my press, big lifts. And one of the reasons that I'm hitting big lifts like that is because you're getting more bang for your buck, those compound movements, you're firing up more muscles when you move through more than one joint, right? There's nothing wrong with like a bicep curl or a tricep extension, but it's just, you're not being as efficient with your time or being quite as functional. So I do that 3 days a week. And then on top of that, I have one higher intensity workout class where we did it today. I do dips, I do pull-ups, I do lunges, and I kind of can hit, it's kind of accessory like, but it's still circuit style because there's too big of a group to do it any other way. And so your heart rate is still kind of high. And I have no problem with that, but I'm not using, that will never replace those 3 heavy, slow lifts. It can't. Like if I tried to back squat in that format, I would be 30, 40 pounds shy of what I could do and what I do on my own. And it's
where you can lift hard, lift hard,
and in all this being in the context of a conversation where women are hard gainers to begin with. It's hard to get you to lift as much weight as you should and you can. Our bodies most of the time don't build muscle that readily, that willingly. So it's already hard. You guys, do not just completely screw the pooch by trying to build strength or muscle in a high intensity setting. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. And all you got to do is look at your performance. Can you do any more push-ups than when you started? Can you do any more pull-ups than when you started? Yeah. Can you, you know what I mean? And the answer,
after doing this
for like
for
10 years, some people like just tell you forever, no. So don't be that person. That's the gym girls. All right, we can move on to
mistakes women tend to make in strength training. Remember, we're talking about the category of strength training.
Yes.
I guess we're at number 3.
We're at 3, and I'm gonna blob.
Not heavy enough.
Yes, I'm gonna blob together these.
Women aren't heavy enough.
No, you're not heavy enough. You're so funny.
Yeah.
You're not lifting heavy enough. This is problem number 3, and I'm going to lump some together.
Yeah, okay.
You're not taking long enough rest periods between your lifts. This is huge.
Okay. All right.
And overall, you're not dedicating enough time to strength training. And this is another reason getting women to actually strength train it in a real and effective way is so hard because it is by nature time consuming. Unlike HIIT or a CrossFit Metcon or an AMRAP or something where you are the design of it is to just be constant high heart rate, or with HIIT, maybe really high, very short break, really high, very short break, something like that. Your workout is like 20 minutes, you're exhausted, you're sweating, you have major fatigue, all system fatigue, and then you just lay on the floor and you feel great about yourself and then you leave. I get the draw to that because it's fast. It's, makes you feel really tired. You feel like you did something and then you get out of there. However, when it comes to strength, you can't do that. You have to take the breaks in between the sets. And that's why I put these all together, because the idea is you want to be lifting at an absolute max effort weight within whatever rep scheme you decided on. Now, how many reps you're doing depends on if you're a beginner or you're advanced. If you're going for strength, you're going for hypertrophy, all those things matter. But if you're going for reps of 5 for a back squat, for example, you want to be going as heavy as you possibly can. And then, you rest and then you do it again. And then you rest, you do it again. Let's say you're doing 5 by 5. You will not be able to go as heavy as you actually can if you don't rest at least 3 minutes between those sets. Yeah. Most women, literally, when I train them, sometimes I just do a little experiment where I don't say anything. They do a set and then I just kind of naturally see when they want to go again. Yeah. On average, 45 seconds. Okay. Okay, 45 seconds. And a part of the problem is that most women are not even close to being maxed out in the rep range they're lifting in. Yeah, like you go in there, it's just like some of this, rest, talk to your friend, do it again. And you guys, like I sound so critical. I am being so critical to like everybody in this particular podcast, but you guys, it is such a waste of time to go into the gym to pick up a weight. And, that is 40, 50% of what you actually could be lifting in the rep scheme you're about to do, and to go through the motions. Your body is so smart. Like our bodies, like our muscles will not fire. Not one muscle fiber in your bicep, in your quad complex, in your hip complex will fire unless it has to. It doesn't just be like, oh, great, we're all firing, glutes, quad, let's go. No, you have to force it. You have to force it in order to get any kind of action out of those muscle fibers, and then therefore down the line, a stimulus. So if you're not maxing out in your rep range of 8 or 10 or 15 or whatever you've chosen, it's kind of a waste of time. I hate to say that to you, but like women, you waste your time a lot in there because you are not even close. You're not at your max. You're not even like most of us don't even know what 75% of a max feels like. Like we just have no idea. And that's completely mental. It's completely a brain game. You have to be willing to get uncomfortable. You have to be willing to make a face. You have to be willing to possibly fail, right? Like on your last rep, you try to get that and you can't do it, and most of us just have never gotten there. Now, obviously you want to have safety in mind. This is not an approach or a mindset that a beginner should have. In the beginning, you're trying to establish new habits, learn new skills, and not get hurt. I mean, that's really the main thing. And I would say for your first 2 to 3 months of strength training, that's kind of your main focus. Weight will, climb up slowly. You'll get the newbie gains, but you're not like trying to murder yourself in those very beginning months. But after time goes on, you've got the skill down. You understand the movements. Your body's fairly well adapted. You need to be pushing weight that you're a little bit scared of. I mean, that's probably the best way to put it. Where number one, you're like, if I don't rest 3 minutes, I won't be able to do this again. Okay, you need to have the fear. You need to actually have the fear. And this comes so not naturally to women. It's not even funny. Like it is so hard to get women even close to this kind of mindset. And this is one of the biggest reasons, besides the group fitness problem and the not doing it at all. This is one of the biggest reasons that women do not build muscle very well. And they can lift in the gym and lift and lift and lift and their body looks no different. It's because you are not actually challenging your muscles. You're just not. And our body is way too smart and adaptive to respond to such a sub-max stimulus. I mean, that's just really what it is. So that sounds really cruel. That sounds kind of mean, but it's the truth. So you need to actually be honest with yourself. Could I push a heavier weight? And let me just tell you guys, if you get to rep 8, I'm just using that as an example, and your face looks like this, not even close. Not even close. If you're smiling, if you're happy, if you're not like spitting, eyes closing, like fear, like it gets ugly. And I just don't think we like to get ugly. We're self-conscious. We think everyone's looking at us, even though they're not. We have so many problems, but like just get over it. And what's the worst thing that's going to happen? You're going to try on rep 7 and you're going to grunt and you're going to get about halfway up and then you're just going to bring it back down again. And you know what? If that happens, I'm really proud of you. I always like make a huge deal about it with any of my clients when they fail their first movement, because it means they went for it. And they actually were pushing to a point where that actually they at least close to their max where they actually couldn't do it. And that takes a long time to get a girl to have the guts and to get to, in a mind space where they can even do that. And it's great. Anybody who's a serious weightlifter fails often, fails a squat, has to dump it, tries a deadlift, can't get it. Like that's actually pretty normal because you're dancing around your max in whatever rep scheme you're working in. And that's where you want to be. Okay. So heavy weight, you must take long breaks. And just a quick little reminder, if you're really, really going for strength. So this would be maybe if you're really serious and you're trying to get a higher back squat number or a higher deadlift number, we're talking rest periods of 3 to 5 minutes, really long ones, because neurologically you need that recovery before you go and you do it again. And your reps are going to be very low. This also, ladies, that might not be you. You may never be like shooting for a 300-pound deadlift and that's okay. But this might be how you get your first strict push-up. Okay. It will never be in HIIT class. Ever. That's not where it's going to happen. But it might be out on the floor where you do one, You rest 5 minutes and then you do it again. And then you rest 5 minutes. And this is what I mean. It's time consuming. You can do that at home too. You could do 2 strict pull-ups, walk away, come back 10 minutes later, 2 strict pull-ups. That's fine too. That's one of the many values of trigger sessions. But all that to say, if strength is your goal, if strength, like I want to get my first pull-up, I want to get my first dip, and that's an awesome goal. You need really long breaks and you need very obviously low reps, 1 to 5. Okay. And then if you're going for muscle, build. And this is a lot of you skinny minis out there who don't build, like I need muscle. I've never had glutes. It's so hard for me. I eat and just nothing. You need a slightly higher rep, a lot of volume, and your rests are going to be a little shorter, 1.5 to 3 minutes. Okay. Depending on the person, you're going for damage and you're going for the burn and you're going for absolute max weight within a rep scheme, anywhere from like 8 to 15. And that hurts. That's really hard. Strength is a little easier. It's not as traumatic because your reps are low and your rests are really long, but that hypertrophy land, you'll feel it. It hurts. That's where you make the faces and the ugly sounds come out and stuff. So anyways,
okay.
Did I cover that one pretty good?
I think so. We're on number 3, but my notes you did not update.
I know. I'm sorry. I didn't update very well.
Yeah. So we're on number 3. So what is number 3?
Well, that was 3. So number 4 is not enough frequency. This is another problem where, and I see this a lot with the girls who are like maybe convinced to do strength training in some way in the gym, at home, whatever. But every week something comes up. And so they're doing like 1 or maybe 2 sessions a week, but some weeks 1, but some weeks 2. You really need 3 days a week. Like you really do. And part of the reason, you guys, is because how time consuming strength is. If you could dedicate 1:45 twice a week where you're getting a lot of lifts in with the appropriate rest periods in between sets, it might be okay. I just don't know very many people who like to operate that way or have that or can. Yeah. Exactly. It's also mentally challenging to be like, time for my 2-hour gym session. Like, it's just kind of hard to get yourself to go do that. So because of that, in order to get enough touches on all your muscle groups, enough to stimulate growth, you got to get the frequency, which means you got to get yourself lifting 3 to 4 days a week. I mean, honestly, that's what most people do, especially if you're at like ground zero and you're trying to get way over here. You need a lot of stimulus. You need really consistent frequency. Now, for me, I've been lifting forever. I'm more of in a maintenance place. If here and there I got 2 instead of 3, it's really not a big deal. Like you can maintain with a lot less frequency, not a lot, but some less frequency and volume than you can build. But if you're like, I got to build or I got to form a new habit, I'm starting from scratch. I got nothing here. You need the frequency. Okay. And I will say it does seem more doable for a lot of people's schedules and for a lot of people's just mental game to do shorter bouts. Like I'm going to hit these 3 lifts just because again, it's time consuming, right? It doesn't really work if you don't give yourself those rests in between. And to do that more often, that just seems more doable for more people. So you can't have short workouts and also only do it twice a week. You're never going to you'll squat once a month. If you do that, you need frequency. Okay. So you need consistency just like you do for anything, you guys. It's in order to not get injured and to see progress. Yeah, you just need it.
But the thing with the frequency, this is what I like about it, is my workouts. So when I was in college, my workouts would be 1.5 hours.
Sure. Like with your team?
Yeah, with my team.
Like a team lift? Yeah.
Team lift,
That's when it's like kind of your job.
And yeah, it's kind of your job, that kind of thing.
But it is nice to have 1.5 hours.
But
I mean, and if
actually, I like where I'm at now because it's like I'm working out for 30 to 40, maybe 45 minutes max.
And that's
I'm out of the gym.
And it's all you've got.
So
yeah.
It feels
it's what
way
you've got.
more doable to me to do the frequency.
Yeah, right. And that's what you're doing.
30. Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Almost every day you're going in.
That's right.
Yes. Yeah.
But that feels, I guess, more doable to me and less like I'm taking away from my family because I'm going in the morning.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Well, that's what we were just talking about. Like, I think it is for most people a better choice. But I will say, man, if I have the ability to lift everything I want in a lift and take my time, which is rare, I like a good 1:40. With warm up, I like to usually hit 2 big lifts where you literally hit one, you warm it up, you hit 1 set, you rest 3 minutes, another set, you rest 3 minutes, and then you do another lift and you do it. And then usually to save time, I'll slow strength circuit accessories at the end, stuff that works better as an accessory. that could easily take an hour and a half, like easily, if you're taking your time. And it's so yeah, it's I get the struggle. It's like I'll just go lighter and I'll take 1 minute rest. But it's like, you guys, this is why you're not building muscle. This is why. So you are always probably better off doing less movements, going heavier, and just allowing yourself the amount of rest that you need in between sets, at least 2 minutes before, and then doing it again. You really probably are. And if you're choosing your lifts wisely, again, mostly centering around compound, maybe I will say the single muscle movements, like your tricep extensions, your quad extensions, your bicep curls, those go really nicely at the end. And because they're single muscle movements, you can easily stack them in with other things and utilize what we call active recovery, where, okay, I'll do my bicep curls and right after that, I'll do a wall sit or something. And you can do that because while you're doing your wall sit, your biceps are resting. And then while you're doing your bicep curls, your quads are resting, if that makes sense. So you can use that concept of active recovery, superset movements with your kind of more accessory stuff at the end. And that is a trick that I use a lot of times with my clients and with my programs, just to speed stuff up, because this stuff does take a long time. But you're never going to get stronger at your deadlift, supersetting that with burpees or anything else. You just have to take the break. I was lifting this morning and I just take my computer in and I just get work done. I just watch the clock. I take, on average, in between my cleans and my deadlifts, on average about a 3-minute rest, which is about right for what I'm doing. And I just answer emails, do a little programming. I just accept that you have to rest. And I just think, what can I do to maximize my time? And so that's what I do.
I would add here, this is what I was looking at, was we did a show, it looks like about a month ago, Can Cardio Fix You? Kind of show, because we went through cardio. What's the full title? Can cardio fix all your problems? And so we address a lot of this also.
And
can cardio fix all your problems?
Is this one where we actually talked about cardio?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the other side of fitness.
Yeah.
This is the strength training side. You all do need cardio.
But we address some of the just only cardio issues. You're only doing HIIT class. You're only
we do. We this is a recurring theme. It is such a problem. It is such a problem. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Anyways,
number 5.
Number 5. Sorry, your notes are useless. Yeah, ladies, this is another one. This is
enough core work.
Not enough core work.
This is probably you guys' problem.
Yeah, but you guys don't do core either. You're probably even worse. Mm-hmm. Gosh, probably guys. I don't know. You don't go to Pilates class. At least some ladies are in there trying.
And if guys do core or
they
audio,
die.
Audio core work,
they die.
They die, or it's just like there's 1 or 2 exercises that they know and that they stick to.
Yeah,
that's it.
The good old crunch on the physio ball. Yep. More of those.
Putting weights on the tummy.
Do some of this punchy stuff at the top. I love it when they do that.
Core work. Yeah, I mean, it does help a little.
Some roundhouse kicks in the corner. Yeah. Okay, listen, this is a big deal. Now, obviously, if you've had babies, and this is one of the reasons it's a bigger deal for women, because most of us have had some children, or you're going to have, a lot of us have had kids. And man, guys, they're little, it's just like a little wrecking ball, just blowing through there. Luckily, it's mostly just soft tissue, muscle. You can rehab it, but you have to do that. Yeah. It does not just magically come back together. So you really got to be on it if you are a woman in general, but if you've had children, you really got to be on it. So now there's all the moms out there who just, back to number 1, not doing anything, not taking care of their health. Core is probably where I would start. And it's a really big deal, even if you just want to function in life, okay? Set aside all the other benefits of heavier strength training, building muscle, physique, all these other things, which are true and great. If you just want to be able to pick your own kids up, you got to rehab your core and you got to be on it, like you really do. But I really want to speak, though, even more so to the women who are in the gym and they are strength training, because there is a whole subcategory of women. And I love these women because they're in there and they're getting after it. They are doing all the things that we just talked about, the heavy lifting. Maybe they're doing some classes, but it's kind of supplementary. They're out on the floor. They've got their, whole schedule going. They're squatting heavy. They're benching heavy. But you know what they're not doing is core, because core is boring. And no one wants to do it. It's not sexy like trying to PR your back squat. It's just like on the ground. It hurts. It's not fun. You usually are like, well, I'll do it at the end. And then you're like, I don't feel like it. I'm running out of time, whatever. And you don't do it. Those girls, okay? You will run into major problems. Now, you can be someone who's super out of shape and you don't exercise at all and you have a weak core and you hurt yourself. That happens all the time. Physical therapist offices are full of you guys, right? But there are a ton of women, sadly, in the gym, putting in the time, putting in the work. Their squat form is good. Their deadlift form is good. They put 225 on the bar one day, try to pull it, and boom, 3 discs go out. That's a bummer. Okay, that's a bummer. And a lot of the time, not always, stuff happens sometimes, and sometimes there's nothing you could have done to prevent it. But a lot of the time, it's because your core muscles, your abdominals, your erector spinae, deep core muscles have not been brought along, and they are not strong enough to brace your spine against the movements that you're asking it to do, even if you're doing it with good form. That's the thing. I think a lot of people think, well, I mean, as long as my back is straight, it's like, no, actually, you can really mess yourself up. You can really get injured if you do not stay on top of core strength. It's really important. And again, back muscles, abdominal muscles, hip flexors, all of that would fall under. Even I oftentimes even shove glute medius work in there too, just because it's all connected. It's a really, really big deal. So you need to make sure you're on top of it, and it's hard because it's one more thing and it's boring. Yeah. Nobody wants to do it. Everybody would rather do the 1,000-meter row or the awesome deadlift EMOM or whatever because it's funner. I totally get it. It's funner. People tend to put core at the end of their run, at the end of something. That's a mistake because it never happens.
You're tired.
Yeah. So you just got to do it. Yeah. And I will say a class or a program is a really good idea for core. This is where I think a group fitness class is a great idea. A Pilates class, an ab, whatever class. That's appropriate in the group fitness setting. It's mostly body weight. It tends to be higher rep, which is totally acceptable for core work. And it's just going to be more of a guarantee that you're going to do it. And usually you'll do 5 more reps, 10 more reps, 1 more round, whatever, than you would do at home alone. There really are not that many people who can do this sort of stuff on their own. It's just hard, but you need a program, you need a class, you need something you can do. 2 approaches. You can go 1 big dose a week, which I really do believe works. That's what I do. I do a 45 minutes set of like all injury prevention, core heavy work every Tuesday morning. That's enough for me. I don't do much else. I'll do an ab rollout here and there. I might do a GHD setup, but really 1 big dose a week. That keeps my back feeling good. It keeps me pretty injury free. Over COVID, when our gym shut down, it's a class I teach. It's a Pilates hybrid class, really. I kept lifting in the gym, but the gym was shut down for 6, 7, 8 weeks. I don't remember either, but I didn't teach the class is basically what it was because we didn't have members coming in. And it was really interesting because I was fine. I didn't feel any difference after week 1. And I was doing some ab work on my own, just like a little bit, but not like that. Not like a really intense 45-minute once a week dose of core. And then the second week I was fine. I remember distinctly 3rd week, I was like, oh, my back does not feel good. And by week 4, I was like a dumpster fire. Like my back hurt so bad because I continued everything else. I was squatting, I was doing all this, I was running, I was doing all those other things, but just that 1 big dose of core had gone out the window. And you have that your muscles, there's a lag time when you stop something. Like you can kind of hang on to the benefits for a while, but after a while, those muscles are like, we're not doing this stuff anymore. And it really made a difference. I will never forget that because sometimes you don't realize how something is helping you until you take it away. But anyways, I'll probably have to teach that class till I die. But you can go the big dose or you can do the frequency thing. You can do little baby doses, which is what you're doing. Yeah. We put core work into I like each one of your workouts.
You've done about my schedule is I never did this in college or when I was more intense.
Right.
Is that you have me do bench and then right into a core exercise. So I'll burn out my arms or something that I can go in a core.
It's a good way to go.
But you go from one upper body thing to one lower body
or abdominal thing. And that is one trick. Like it's a good trick of the trade if time is tight where you could work in supersets and hit a big heavy lift and then superset in something that just has nothing to do with like if it's bench your arms. So like a leg lower or something. That is an example of active recovery where you're getting something else done, but it's very minimally going to affect you going back and doing that heavy lifting. And so that does work really well. And it's another way to just ensure you're getting your core in because people just skip it. They just don't do it. Yeah. And man, guys, a bulged disc, a herniated disc, like it is such a bummer. It can lay you out for a long time. Like it is, and that is just so frustrating. It's frustrating for anyone, but it's really frustrating when you have been putting the time in and you've gotten really strong and you love it and you're so excited about all your progress in the gym and then boom.
Because there's one area
because you haven't, it's gotta be able to support and handle what you're asking it to do. And if you layer on top of that the fact that you've had 3 children, you just really got to give it a lot of time and attention. You really do not ignore it. Okay.
All right, last one, number 6.
Technically, number 6.
Only training strengths, not weaknesses.
Weaknesses.
This is everyone's favorite way of doing it.
Men do this one too. Some of these are more women specific. Men do this one too. They ignore their core.
Because one is good at squats and that's all they like to do. And
most of the time it's just arms.
Good at bench because that's all they like to do.
Yes. Totally. Yeah.
I like to work on my ankles. No, I'm just kidding.
Ankle weights.
No,
Just a bunch of ankle weight movements.
My calves.
Your calves. You don't need to do that. Yeah. So girls do this really bad. Men do it too. But it's just one of the goals, you guys, I think, of being fit in the first place or trying to do any of this stuff is to be as well-rounded as you can be. Now, everybody's going to have things that they like or don't like, or things that they're more genetically predisposed to, or things that you're just more gifted at, and some of that will come down to your body type. Are you a big, tall person? Big, tall people don't tend to like pull-ups, for example. There's more of them and it's harder. Tiny people love pull-ups, So I totally get that. And it's okay to be, have preferences and to do what you love and to know that you're better at some things rather than others. But all that aside, the goal should be to be as well balanced and rounded of a person and an athlete as you can be, unless you're training for something very, very specific, which could be, if you decide to marathon, a lot of other things go to the wayside because that's a very extreme, that's just a lot in your running bucket. So other stuff's going to go. If you decide to throw the shot put, then, a lot of other things are going to go. But for most of us, we're just your average people trying to be healthy and fit and good at life most of the time, right? So being well-rounded, having symmetry, having balance in your body is really important, I think. And I think it's a really noble, good goal. And the human tendency is to go and not do that. The human tendency is to be like, well, if you're one of those bigger, stronger athletes, it's just like, well, I'm going to lift heavy things because I'm good at that. And I will have a sucky push-up for the rest of my life. And girls do this all the time, especially the bigger, stronger girls. They just don't work on those things because they're a weaker thing for them. The really small girls who can push up and pull up all day long, they can do all that body weight type stuff. Their squat never gets over 95 pounds because they just sort of gave up on it. They just don't even try because it's naturally more of a weak spot for them. So, and this is how I used to be successful in CrossFit, you guys, is I would coming up to a competition, and CrossFit is a nice little example of this because they're workouts where it's sort of random. It's strength, it's agility, it's speed, it's gymnastics. And you don't really know what you're going to get. So you have to sort of try to be okay at everything. That's the key. Right. And leading up to competitions, I would completely stop training the things I was the best at. So running, I would completely stop because I knew I wouldn't do that 6 months up to it. I would do it the month, 2 months before. I would completely stop. Handstand push-ups, that was something I was really good at. I would completely stop. I was not going to waste any time or any energy working on something I already knew I was pretty good at. And I knew that even a month later, having not run at all, I could outrun most of those girls. But what did I need to work on? My really heavy stuff, this particular skill. I only trained my weak spots so that by the time I got to competition day, there was nothing that I couldn't do. And I was at least okay at everything. And I was really successful with that. But it's hard to only train. Literally, I would create these painful, slow AMRAPs of only skills that I hated and I wasn't good at. So it's double under and then ring dip and then this, and it was awful. It's just only doing stuff that you don't like and that you just aren't naturally that good at. But that's what I did. And that's how you stay decent at everything and you stay well-rounded. So girls, if you are that girl who's just never been able to do push-ups, I guarantee you have never taken a month out of your life, trained push-up on its own with long breaks in between 3 to 4 days a week. I bet you have never done that. And you know what? If you did that, you'd be good at push-ups. It's actually not that hard. You can get good at a pull-up. Sure. You can get good at a push-up. You can get more weight on your back squat. You can get a stronger core. You just have to do it. You have to prioritize it. And you got to be willing to do things that you're not that excited about in order to get better at them. So anyways.
Well, the way I think about this is you hinted on this a little bit, where if you're training strengths and not weaknesses, well, eventually your strengths will add tension to those weaknesses too.
Totally.
And it can add leverage to those weaknesses and even exacerbate the weaknesses.
Totally. And the body loves balance at every level. Yeah. That's how God designed us. And you will end up with, if you continue to only do the things or to overemphasize the things that you're naturally good at, you're going to end up with imbalance and you're going to be more injury prone. Yeah. And I see it all the time. You're going to be more injury prone. It is not normal to have a ginormous back squat, but a zero bench or the other way around, or it's not,
or no abs,
or you need balance. And everybody knows, you all know, this is the stuff I really like. This is the stuff I'm not so good at. And it might be even broader. It might be that you love to lift, but you hate cardio. You need some cardio in your life. What that looks like totally depends on you. You referenced that other, it was a good show that we did on cardio. Take a peek at that one if you want to go down the cardio rabbit hole. Or on the flip side, if you're a girl, you love cardio, but you hate weights, You need the weights. You need it. And it is going to do nothing but good stuff for you to train different energy systems, different muscle groups, different movements, different skills that your body is weak at. Balance is where you want to be. It's the way to go.
All right.
Hey, we did it.
Any closing comments there?
I don't think so, you guys. I just really, I'll say this. If you ladies are like, I haven't been strength training, all of your nagging has worked. I want to start. All of the what do you call it? The peer pressure, the shame,
the Annie pressure,
the shame that I try to put on all of you who are not strength training. If it's worked and you haven't done anything, I have an online program for you. It's really good, if I do say so myself. It is accessible to everybody. It comes with 3 full body, very functional, core-oriented, strength-oriented workouts a week. Each workout comes with a YouTube instructional video demoing all the movements, modifications, etc. Comes with a health tip of the week. It comes with constant access to me via the Signal app, which is rare in a program like that, where you can actually ask me questions, which is super helpful, especially if you're new and you're going to have a lot of questions. And you can send videos.
Ladies in that group.
There's awesome ladies in that group. So I have a program for you, okay? And that's one of the reasons I developed it, because I am on this soapbox all the time. Everybody needs to be doing this so you can actually get leaner and stay leaner. Guys, and you know what? It is
to close.
It is so much funner. And this is what you were talking about, the bean counting, before you really went a different way.
And the audience was like, all right.
What are we talking about? But we were talking about bean counting. Living like that is so sad and not fun. It is, and it's so many women where it's just all you think about is your weight. All you think about is your weight. You are full of guilt and everything's a no. Everything is restriction and everything is either I can't have it, or if you did have it, you feel guilty and then you have to punish yourself, or you have to, it's so sad. And it actually is inevitable, because if your strategy is just diet over the years, you will get to where that is really true. You really can't eat anything. You cannot have that piece of cake. You cannot have this. You cannot have that, because your metabolism can't afford it, because you've slowed it down. You tanked your thyroid, probably your adrenals aren't doing well either. I mean, all this stuff kind of comes together, but you not only is it a sad way to feel and to live, but that is an actual reality. And so these ladies are not lying when they tell their doctor, I'm 30 pounds overweight and I'm barely eating anything. They're telling the truth. It's a horrible place to be. It's a bad paradigm. It is so much better to eat more and to move more. It is so much better. It is so much funner. Like, it's just,
live a freer life.
You have a freer life, and you actually can do stuff. You don't become this old, skinny, or wishing she was skinny mom who can't ski, who can't swim, who can't lift anything, who can't jump, who can't play volleyball with their kid, who can't do anything, because you have no emphasis on what you can do in your life. You don't train anything. You don't care about that. All you care about is a number on the scale, which also nobody cares but you. Like nobody. Like nobody. So it's just, please, you guys, it is such a better place, a better training strategy, a better life strategy to focus more on what your body can do, to feed your body good food so that it can do these things, to put the proper training stimulus in place for you, for your body, for your life, so that your metabolic rate is high. You can eat good food and not even worry about it or think about it. And you can do stuff that gives so much happiness, freedom, like you said, and also confidence. Like, it really, women who are strong and take good care of their bodies and are physically fit, they're a lot more confident, and it really shows. And it's a way better place to be. So if you want to get there, message me. You can message me with questions too. I know that a lot of cases are very individual. A lot of you are going through a lot of stuff, and everybody's different, and I know that. And sometimes it can be really hard, and I know that too. So please message me. Email is the best.
RenchMedia@gmail.com. You can find it on Instagram.
You can find me on Instagram. You can message me on Instagram all the time. I'm happy to try to answer some of your questions, but one way or another, you need to get real, actual, impactful strength training in your life. It is life-changing, both in the short and even more in the long term, and we all need it.
Yep. So if you guys haven't noticed, we actually started dropping our show on Wednesdays now. So we're going to be thinking Wednesdays now, because we did Thursday, then Tuesday, and then we said, you know what,
Wednesday's to figure out the right day.
Yep, we're figuring it out. But we're on Wednesdays now. And of course, we're on DirecTV Dish on Saturday afternoons through NRB's TV station, which is I think 274 on NRB TV Dish and DirecTV. So thank you guys for joining Waterbreak.
Thanks,
it's been
guys.
really good to be with you this week. We'll see you next week.